Have you ever been somewhere that made you think to yourself, this place is weird? I love places like that, whether it's in real life or in a video game. So today, with your permission, you Patreon supporter, I would like to take you on a journey of unremarkable and odd places in The Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind. Possibly your favorite game of all time. Not mine, but I do like it. Are you ready? Great, let's go into Morrowind. Go! All right, welcome to the first area that I want to show you. Now, when you think Morrowind, you probably don't think dead body in a cave. But I picked this place in particular because it looks funny and is odd, but it also has a really interesting gameplay feature. So we are here inside of Manu, which you can see up there. It's this very large cave system, kind of down near the starting city of Seyda-Neen. Anytime you're inside of a cave in Morrowind, it does just have a great, very tangible but lo-fi feeling. It's very turn of the millennium PC game vibes. But one of the things that makes this place interesting in particular is that it's very close to where you start the game. And if you come here early on, generally speaking, you come from up there, you walk down this path, and then you come this way. And what you're meant to do is jump down here. And if you do that, there is absolutely no way to get out. Which is to say, unless you are lucky enough to be at a point in the game where you have a levitation spell or some other way of getting up really high, you literally can't get out of here. What that ends up meaning is that you wander around these low poly caves for potentially more than an hour. Let me show you a couple of my favorite little spots in here. One is right here. I'm a huge fan of how old video games have a pulsing red light anytime you're in a lava room. I remember seeing it in Banjo-Kazooie, but we also have it here. This is a very good vibe to me. Lava in old video games is also great because it's simple. Lava was better when it had to be flat and it could barely move. This is a really good vibe. I don't want to see lava realistically piling up against the shoreline here, okay? I want it just to continue moving as though it's a big flat piece of cardboard. That's this cave. Let's look at the next place, shall we? Okay, welcome to the next place. We are up in the mountain near the Great Wall. I don't remember what the Great Wall is actually called in this game. I do apologize. I can absolutely rule out that it's not called, or I know that it's not called the Great Wall of China, but aside from that, I'm not sure what it's called. Any place that you can come up to the edge of this gigantic wall, which surrounds the entire mountain, is a really, really weird vibe. You can't go through this wall. It's like a giant force field that's supposed to keep everyone safe from the volcano or something. There's always been something kind of fascinating to me about walking up to the bottoms of really tall structures, both in real life and in a video game. Another example might be being at the very bottom of the Hoover Dam. There's just something very kind of strange and imposing about it. And I feel that way when I'm up against this giant cloudy milky wall. You know, how good of a job is the wall doing at keeping the volcano out? It doesn't seem like that good on account of all this ash is out here. If we wait long enough, the ash might go away. Nice, we did it. Okay. And the vibes are completely different, but still interesting, still odd. There's a creepy zombie walking around in there. See, I guess that's really what you're protecting us against by having this wall. That's why you build walls, is to keep creepy zombies out of places, right? That's why the Chinese did it. Maybe that's not true. That actually, now that I think about it, sounds very racist of me because it makes it sound like I think the Mongols are creepy zombies. And then also you could extrapolate and make it sound like I think that people from Mexico are creepy zombies, which I don't think. In fact, I like them. I prefer that they come here because they are good for our nation. But in this case, in Morrowind's case, we did build the wall to keep out creepy zombies. But we don't want to extrapolate fiction into real life too much. In some sense, it can be very good for building empathy, right? But in this case, as I've just demonstrated, we accidentally created racism inside of our own hearts. And with that, we're going to go on to the next place. Welcome to Vivec. You knew I had to include something from Vivec on here, right? But where in the city, in this gigantic city, are we actually going to go? We are not going up here. We're not going over there. We are going down here. Kind of similar to the last place we were, this does involve us going right up against the bottom section of a very large structure. And I haven't really thought about that. Maybe I'm having a phase where I really enjoy those kinds of things. But this is where we are hanging out. Being down in between these two places makes me feel weird. We're seeing some of the machinations both of the fictional city, right? Because we have these outflow things where all the water comes out and flows back in, but also the in-between spaces of Morrowind, the video game. You know, a place that we are not supposed to go. And it is for that reason that I appreciate it very much. Another space here in the city of Vivec that I've always really appreciated are these kind of the outside walkways in general, because they're completely empty. You know, this is a huge hustling, bustling city, but it's entirely contained within these gigantic stone domes. Nobody really comes out here and walks around, and not just because it's rainy. These walkways are just generally not used. They're pretty much always empty and abandoned, which is a really interesting vibe. Okay, you want to see the very last place? All right, this is the final place we're going to be looking at today, and there's a very specific reason. This is a place that I was going to originally feature and include in our Morrowind Doesn't Have Any Rivers videos, but I just, in terms of flow, it didn't fit very well, so I'm excited to show it to you right now. On the map, for your reference, we are just west of Cool on this little tiny island, and the thing that makes this place so special is both that it is, you know, a little island in Morrowind, but on this island, we have this. This is, as far as I can tell, the only instance of flowing water in the entire game of Morrowind. I would love to know who the artist is that decided to put this one single waterfall here and nowhere else in the game, because the only other place with flowing water like this are those sewer outlets from Vivec that we just looked at. And I think stuff like that's really fascinating, right? Now, one of the interesting things is, let's do a little hydrological thought experiment here. Where is this water coming from? We can see that it just comes directly out of the rock, which is fine. That's very normal. But let's pretend that, you know, whatever the source is inside the rock. You know, where is that water coming from? Where is it possibly getting replenished from? Unless it's some sort of deep underground, water geyser thing, like a well, and then they dug it and the water shoots up into the rock and then comes out here. I don't think that makes sense hydrogeologically, but I just think it's very interesting. I think it's cool when water comes from nowhere for no reason. And I mean, it's really coming out. That water is flowing. This is not a trickle. This is a full-on waterfall. So I highly recommend coming here if you play through Morrowind. This whole island just has a really cool feel to it, and you'll get to see the only naturally occurring moving water in all of Morrowind. And with that, those are my 4 places. I hope you enjoyed it. You know, we haven't done a simple little video like this in a while, so this is from me to you. Thank you for being a Patreon supporter. I appreciate it very, very much, and I will see you next time we do a video.